here again, and some new faces as well. So before we get started, I wanted to just add that we have our recipe in the chat along with the survey that we're doing, which I will pull up right now. Great. And then as everybody's getting ready and prepping, I'd ask everybody to mute themselves.
Myself, you can do cooking by myself. Did you mute yourself?
Great. So before we get started, I want to take a look at some of these that are coming in. We have, I love these, cooking the meal together, family cooking day, cooking by myself, cooking and eating, learning new recipes, trying something new, the fun and learning experience. That is fantastic. And we've got,
like they're buttering us up.
We've got, people are excited. They love maple syrup. Excellent. So before we get cooking, first of all, my name is Alec. I'm the executive director here at Elevate Youth. And we want to make sure that we give everybody enough time to get prepped. And if you have any questions in the beginning, we will give everybody a chance to ask those questions. So for today's session, if you were with us last time, we had sort of a question and answering during the cooking class. What we're going to do this time is if you have a question while Tamika, Chef Tamika, is doing the recipe, we'd like you to just place that into the chat. That way, it'll be a seamless and fun experience for all of us. And then at the end, we'll have time to share what we've created and some experiences that we've learned along the way. So what we'll do is I'm going to turn it over to Tamika, and we'll have 5 minutes here to ask any questions for prepping or anything you're confused about. What I'd ask for folks to do, if possible, is just to raise their hand either like this or in the Zoom application. So for the next 5 minutes, I will turn it over to Tamika, and we will answer any questions and then get started.
Okay, great. Thank you so much, Alec. Good to see you guys again. I see some familiar faces from the last time. Again, I'm Chef Tamika Francis of Food and Folklore, and I'm always excited to see families cooking together. I think one of the best ways to come together, doesn't matter what your family looks like, having a meal together usually allows you to have some good conversation and have some fun. So for tonight, we're gonna do a sweet potato salad with orange maple syrup. Now raise your hand if you've had sweet potatoes before. Thumbs up, thumbs down. Yeah, do you like it? I do, it's one of my favorites. So before we jump into the recipe itself, we're doing, one of the things I mentioned the last time was that one of the best ways to be a really good chef is to be an organized chef, right? So we're gonna go through all ingredients and make sure we have all that we need. Anything you do not have, I can help you try and figure out what else you might have at home that might work today. So let's do our meal prep, or sorry, our meal check, or recipe check. Thumbs up, ready for that? Everything's gathered? All right, so you should have your sweet potatoes and they've been peeled and they've been cooked.
Wait, did you say cooked?
Pardon me?
Wait, did you just say cooked?
If they're not cooked, we have time. We can start cooking them now. I have mine cooked because I'll spend most of my time chatting with you. So are they at least peeled and cubed? Peeled, cubed, yes, thumbs up, thank you. See some thumbs up, perfect. Oh, that's amazing. So they're nicely, okay. If they are nicely peeled and cubed, I'm gonna have you grab a large pot. Large pot, medium pot, a pot that can fit your potatoes in. And you're gonna get that going on your stove top, medium or so heat, and get those boiling. So potatoes, water, and a tad bit of salt, a teaspoon of salt goes in. For those who have 2 people at home helping with this, 1 person can do that, and we'll walk through the other items. Looking good so far. All right. So the next thing you should have is your olive oil. Thumbs up. Great. Oh, you guys are so prepared. I love it. Maple syrup. Do you have your maple syrup? I poured mine out because it came from a really big bottle, but do you have your maple syrup ready? Thumbs up. Oh, that looks fancy. Oh, look at those maple syrups. I'm a little jealous. You guys have like organic, really good quality maple syrup. Perfect. Orange juice. You may have orange juice from the fridge. That's completely okay. I saved my orange juice, my orange from this morning, and I'll make mine right. Oh, you have your orange. So orange in half, a little cup, and you make fresh squeezed orange juice. True story. Fresh squeezed orange juice is so delicious. No sugar, no preservatives, nothing needed. All right. Balsamic vinegar. So it should be like a red colored vinegar that smells a little sweeter than the regular white vinegar. Oh my God, you guys are on top of this.
Tamika, I should tell you it's a balsamic glaze, just in case anybody, yes,
Question.
that's what they were able to give us for our box this month. So you can just explain the difference, but in case anybody's concerned, that's what it is.
So the folks who have balsamic glaze, it's a more reduced consistency. And just to show you, mine will drip really or pour really easily. Yours might take a little bit longer. It's been reduced with heat and the sugar makes it syrupy and sticky. Is yours more sticky? Yours should be more sticky and should have more sweetness, but that's okay. We'll make it work. Ginger. You can use fresh ground ginger or you can have from the store, bottled ginger like this. Oh my gosh, who are you guys? Look at that ground ginger. Is that Betsy? Looks good. I see folks have their ginger that's still raw. If you can chop that and use a little grate like this to make it really tiny into little beanie pieces. So Benjamin and Victor, I'm seeing you still have your ginger whole. If you can peel it, and one of the best ways to peel a ginger is to take a little spoon, hold that ginger and just remove the skin, And then you take a grate like this and just rub against it. All right.
I put the question in there, so.
All right, I'm at ginger. So how about scallions, chopped scallions? I'll grab mine from the fridge, but you should have chopped scallions. And then after chopped scallions, you should have flat leaf parsley. So this beautiful leafy thing. I haven't chopped mine, I have it prepped. I'll show you how to roll and chop this, but you should have your parsley. Perfect. You guys are rock stars. You should have toasted, if you're from the South, you say pecans. If you're from the North, you say pecan. So you should have toasted nuts that look like this. Pecan. Yeah. If it's not toasted, that's fine. If it's toasted, it just brings it a more nutty flavor, but untoasted is also fine.
Tamika?
Dried raisins, gold or dark. Now for this one, most folks have some kind of dried fruit. I really like this in their cupboard. It could be dried apricots, it could be raisins, it could be cranberries. I have cranberries. Do you have dried fruit? Yep, I see dried fruit. I see someone eating their dried fruit, right? Really good snack. And then you should also have salt and pepper. Every good chef has a little bit of salt and pepper hanging out nearby. Salt, I see 2 types of salt. And I have my pepper mill to make my fresh pepper. All right, recipe check. You guys, amazing. Maybe apple juice instead of vinegar. Do you have apple cider vinegar? It doesn't need to be balsamic. It could be any vinegar. It could be white vinegar. It could be balsamic. It could be apple cider vinegar. If you do not have that, we can try a little bit of lemon juice. Vinegar and lemon juice are acids. It adds a little bit of tart and sour to something that's sweet.
We found balsamic vinegar. We found it.
Okay, so just before we move into our actual recipe, we can't see what you're doing. Have folks put their potatoes on and it's boiling? Like you're looking for your potatoes to be boiled, but they're still intact, right? I had cubes that went in, cubes need to come out. If you have cubes that go in and then this comes out, it's too late. So I take a fork and while your potatoes are cooking, just stick them. Your fork should go through easily. It should be a quick bite. If you're still chewing really hard, it's not cooked. All right, so we have done our recipe check and you guys did amazing. You guys were really prepared chefs. So thumbs up if your potatoes are near cooked. And the way you do, again, just to remind you, when we cook with all our senses. We look to see if the shape changed, right? We looked. We listened because water boils, right? The water was bubbling. We also smell potatoes getting like really yummy. We taste it. And then you also touch, right? You touch to make sure if it's cooked or uncooked. So not too mushy, they still need to be cooked, but also intact. And intact means they still hold their square shape. Now, if you could let Gay and the rest of the team know in the chat if your potatoes are half cooked or fully cooked. Like, where are you with potatoes?
So.
Half cooked?
Join meeting.
See them half cooked. And the number of minutes we're looking to cook these for are 8 to 10 minutes. But you know what's really cool about nature? No two potatoes are exactly alike. So my potatoes might take 8 minutes and 30 seconds to cook. And your potatoes, the same amount, might take 8 minutes and no seconds. Because in nature, not everything is exactly the same. They grow at different speeds. They're a little bit sweeter, they're older, they're bigger, they're heavier. So the time you have on your recipe is a guide. But you must engage your senses to check if things have cooked. So I'm gonna hang out here for a minute, grab my scallions. Oh, fully cooked, nice. Now, when you're fully cooked, no rush, when you're fully cooked, you're gonna grab a strainer, a colander. So anything that has like really nice holes and either metal or really hard plastic that can take some heat. And you're gonna ask an adult in your space to help you drain the potatoes. What I like to do is put the potatoes over another bowl, take my pan with an adult, of course, who's holding this with mittens, and I'll pour them out. Another way to do it is to take a ladle or a spoon and lift the potatoes, lift the potatoes out slowly. So as folks can put in the chat box, if they're fully cooked, near cooked, I'll wait for everyone to be either cooked or near cooked so we can move on together. But so far, you guys have done amazing with the recipe check, ingredients check. A+, where's my applause button? I need my applause button. Yay. That's for all of you. How much nutmeg should we have? So the recipe asks for 1/4 teaspoon of nutmeg. So nutmeg is one of those spices that's really, really strong, and everybody's palate is different. It smells really great, so 1/4 teaspoon is sufficient. If you then you can add more, but 1/4 teaspoon, it should be way more than enough for this recipe. And nutmeg, as I mentioned last week, is a spice, right? It's entire seed that was cracked open and grated.
Got one right here, Tamika.
Sure.
Needs to see.
Thank you, Nick. I was trying to find my nutmeg. So Nick has a nutmeg. It's entire whole nutmeg. It was an inner seed or pod from a pod. And what I have is a grounded version. So someone somewhere who wants to do really hard work for us took all that nutmeg and they took a grate similar to this, but commercial size, and they like really break all that nutmeg down into like dust. And when you grate it into dust, it smells more strongly, but it also allows us to have access or to taste it more quickly. All right. So
Tamika, one thing I like to do is just kind of eyeball the difference between a scoop and the thing. So I feel like this nutmeg seed is like twice as big as my 1/4 teaspoon scoop. So I figure if I grate half of it, that'll be close enough.
half or a quarter, actually a quarter, because it's very potent. But that's a good trick. Thank you. Thank you so much. All right. Can we see some more thumbs up for cooked potatoes? So what should be happening right now is an amazing junior chef should have all the recipes laid out as you did. And is it 5 more minutes? Almost. Okay. So according to my timer, we are around the 8-minute mark. So probably around 2 more minutes or so. Most folks should have their potatoes cooked. I see thumbs up. If you can put thumbs up, that will help me. Hands up. Thumbs up, hands up. Okay. While we wait on our potatoes to cook, we're going to talk about maple syrup. Well, let's talk about potato salads first.
Excuse me,
Yes.
what if we don't have like a nutmeg?
Do you have cinnamon?
Yes.
That's perfect. So cinnamon, nutmeg, cloves, and other brown spices that have a sweet aroma, they are in the sweet or warm spice family. And they usually can be used instead of each other. So they're not exactly the same, but they smell similar. So great, excellent, great substitution, right? When you take one thing and use another thing that's similar, it's a substitution. So great substitution. Any more recipe questions or ingredients questions? Just so you know, you guys did amazing at prepping your list this week. You guys have done what's called your mise or mise en place, which is French for everything in place. You guys had everything in place this week. So congrats, chefs. Congrats. All right. So again, nutmeg is a 1/4 teaspoon. We're going to walk you through once I have enough folks whose potatoes are done and drained in a colander and ready to go, we can start assembling our ingredients. So while, how about you raise your hand if your potatoes are not ready? That would be easier. Not ready, not ready. Okay, all right. Oh, I just realized we have 2 rows of folks. Okay. All right, so while we're waiting another 2 minutes, because we're actually really on time because you guys were so prepared. For maple, we're gonna talk about potato salads. I'm gonna grab my scallion while we talk. So potato salads are a classic American, right? Like an all American meal, right? Many people in the US from different cultures at their barbecues, their family dinners, their Sunday dinners, usually have potato salad. Most times it's made with white potatoes, and white potatoes can be found in Idaho and the Midwest. It's a very American product, but sweet potatoes are also are called yams sometimes. And a lot of folks in the South really enjoy sweet potatoes. While all potatoes are good for you, what I like about these, because they're bright orange, they offer you a little bit more nutrients. Who likes nutrients? I do. Yeah. So having bright orange veggies or, oh, look right there. So bright orange veggies, such as sweet potatoes, offer you more nutrients, more vitamin C. It's really, really a good way to get your vitamins in a fun way. So this recipe is from an old cookbook from the American South. And it's a classic recipe to take to like picnics. It doesn't include mayonnaise, which is a classic way to do sweet potatoes. We're gonna make our dressing with a very New England. Does anyone here live in Boston? Live near Boston, Massachusetts? Yeah, do you know it's called New England? So that entire area is known for maple syrup, or known for maple. And the maple trees are usually ready right around now. So during the winter, they're like dormant, they're like fast asleep, but that juicy sap is growing on the inside. And in March, farmers tap the maple tree and they extract this white substance that's boiled down to a syrup and becomes so, so sweet. So we're gonna do like a Southern classic with a New England spin. And I think we can move on and start assembling because everybody looks like they're ready. Thumbs up, perfect. All right, I'm gonna move on to this camera. So we're gonna start by making, so there are two things we did. This recipe has 4 steps. First step is we cooked our potatoes, right? And those are sitting down and they're drained and they're cooling. Our next step is to make our dressing. So in order to make this dressing, the camera here, we're gonna ask you to measure your maple syrup. So folks should have 2 tablespoons of maple syrup. I already started my process. So I had a tablespoon. I took my maple syrup and I poured 2 tablespoons in. 1, 2. Can folks do that?
So you have to put
Sorry.
8 tablespoons of maple syrup.
Oh,
2 tablespoons of maple syrup goes into a small bowl. So just to be sure for this recipe, we're gonna have 2 bowls. One's is where you're gonna put all your ingredients together when you're gonna have it for the final product. But right now, I need you to have a smaller bowl. It could be any bowl. It could be an eating dish. It could be a glass. It could be a jar. But you need something to make your dressing in. And here I have 2 tablespoons, just to show you. This is my bottle, and I poured 2 tablespoons in. 1, 2. Thumbs up. Next, we're gonna ask you to add your oil. So you should have olive oil. It could be olive oil. I have walnut oil. It could be any neutral oil. That's a little bit more advanced, but we'll talk about neutral oils, right? So olive oil is a good one for making dressing. And you're gonna measure your olive oil. It's gonna be half a cup. So you may have a measuring cup like this or a glass one, and it's half a cup. So you're gonna take your bottle, open it up, and you're gonna pour a half a cup into the maple syrup mixture. You close that really tight, make sure there are no spills, and you're gonna put it away. Next, we're gonna go with our orange juice. So if I had used orange juice from my fridge, just to show you, I could have taken this orange juice, fine, and poured it here. But I really like the taste of fresh oranges. So I'm gonna take my orange, as some folks already did. I'm gonna squeeze it into a jar or bowl or a cup. I'm gonna measure my orange juice. And we need a 1/4 cup. Make sure you watch out for seeds. Mine had no seeds, but if your orange has seeds, make sure you remove those seeds. So I'm gonna take my orange juice, a 1/4 cup, and that goes into the maple syrup and the oil. And you may notice that the oil is on top and the juices or the syrups on the bottom, because the syrup is heavy, right? It's sugar, it's syrupy, it's sticky, and it sinks to the bottom because it's heavier and the oil floats on top. And then what else do we need? Now your vinegar. Now in your case, you have a glaze, which is a more sticky version. So this recipe asks for me to use, let me just double check, 2 tablespoons. I'm gonna have you use 1 tablespoon of your glaze. So I'm doing 2 because I have a liquid version. You have a syrupy version that's more concentrated, it's thicker, right? So I'm gonna have you use 1 tablespoon. Did folks hear that? So your glaze should be sticky, should be gooey, should be really sweet. And you're gonna use 1 tablespoon, not 2. And that goes in. How are we doing? Then your nutmeg and your ginger goes in. So some folks would have had ginger that was grounded. I have ginger that was minced, and I'm gonna measure a 1/4 teaspoon. It's a little tiny one, not the big one, little tiny, and that goes all the way in. So I enjoy watching you guys measure like little scientists. Do you know that cooking and baking is part science and part art? Because you're being creative, but you also have to make sure you pay attention to science. So this is my nutmeg, 1/4 teaspoon, and that goes in. And always close all your spices. You don't want to have a spill. You don't want to waste your product. And that goes in. How are folks doing? The last thing we have to do is our teaspoon or quarter teaspoon of salt. So just to notice here, right? We put a few things here. We put oil, vinegar, which is an acid. We put a sweetener, which is the sugary maple syrup. And then we put spices, and salt balances it all out. So if that all goes in, thumbs up if you're there. Oh, that's beautiful. We're gonna take a fork or a whisk if you have one, and you're gonna mix. Now it's a quick movement, right? We're not trying to splash. We're gonna try and get all these spices and juices and honey, sorry, maple syrup rather, to like mingle together and become like really close friends. So right now they're all separated. They're all separated. So honey, the maple syrup's over here, the oil's over here, the spices are over here. You're trying to get them to get together and play and like be one big team. So you use a fork, and what the fork does is it whisks or it adds air. How's that looking? I can show you mine. It should look like a big old tub of juice. Now here's an important thing, right? You'd put all these spices in. If you get a really clean spoon and taste a little bit. Because every ingredient here was something you could have on its own. So you need more salt, or it maybe more sugar or more spice. The way it should taste is imagine that you're having salad, a piece of lettuce or tomato or cucumber. Would you want this to be on your salad? It tastes yummy enough to go on your salad. Thumbs up or thumbs down. If it doesn't taste yummy enough, it's your job to adjust it. It could be a sprinkle of salt, or it could be a little bit more juice. Mine's exactly the way I like it. So again, engaging your senses. We smelled all those beautiful spices, and now it's time to taste. Everyone taste theirs? Oh, that's beautiful. If you're seeing your vinegar or oil and your syrup are looking separated, as in they're different colors, I'm gonna ask you to use a fork and to mix it some more. Actually pour this into a glass so you can see what it should look like. It's like a brown juice. How's that? Do you notice I don't have oil on top, vinegar on bottom, everything's mixed in? And that's pretty much how salad dressing is made. So when you buy a salad dressing at the store, there's nothing wrong with that, but you can make your own salad dressing with a few ingredients. Isn't that amazing? All right, thumbs up. We're almost there. You guys are doing amazing at making your own salad dressing. You could have made extra and put this in a bottle in the fridge. It could last a week or so. So from now on, you guys have a secret salad dressing recipe. All right. All right, shall we move on? It smells really good. So I'm gonna put my bowl aside. I'm gonna grab my larger bowl where I'm gonna put all my ingredients. Oh, that's not true. I'm gonna do one thing. I'm gonna take my parsley. So for chopping our parsley, one of the things I did was I picked my parsley. Probably already did this. I like to pick my parsley leaves off the stems. The stems can be a little bit too hard sometimes, right? I have to pick my parsley leaves off the stems. In this case, we don't need a lot, maybe, I don't know, a quarter cup is what the recipe calls for. I should follow the recipe. And you're gonna take a few pieces together and line them up. And you're gonna try and roll them into like you'd roll paper. Almost like a tissue roll. And then you're gonna chop it. So
Tamika, it's actually a half cup chopped parsley.
Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you. So I'm way behind. It's a half a cup. So you're gonna chop it up and put it in a measure like this and measure half a cup. You should have chopped scallions. You did your homework. I did not. I appreciate you guys. Oh, beautiful. So chopped scallions and chopped parsley should be ready. So once you have everything chopped, in my case, I did not. I'm gonna put them together, but I can chop pretty fast, I think. I think I can chop pretty fast. Okay, ta-da, done. So we're gonna grab our bowl. We're gonna grab those potatoes. Do you have potatoes? Drained, rinsed, ready to go. Oh, beautiful. You guys are awesome. And you
Can we use cilantro instead of parsley?
pardon me?
Can we use cilantro instead of parsley?
Go for it.
That's also one that cilantro has a little bit of a stronger flavor, so you may want to use a
I
little
was gonna
less,
ask,
and you can
do
always
you
add
like
more.
cilantro?
People really don't like it. Some people love it.
If you like guacamole or say salsa, you probably do like cilantro. What I would do, and thanks Nick, is go half. So let's ask for a half a cup. I'd say put a few pieces in, taste it. So take a fork and try it out to make sure. You could also use dried parsley. Right there in your cupboard or pantry, you may have, or your counter, you may have dried parsley. And dried parsley might look a little bit darker, like leaves, like dried leaves. So you can look for dried parsley as well. All right, so I'm gonna take my potatoes.
And if you're using dried, by the way, you're going to use a lot less, like start with a teaspoon.
Heard. And saying heard is a kitchen way of affirming to the chef or your leader to say, you agree and you know, you agree with what they're saying.
Yes, chef.
Go in. Potatoes in. We're gonna, we're gonna go and put our parsley in. You need a spoon for this or a spatula. You also need your green onions. Now, I'm not gonna use green onions just because my little son is only almost 2 and he doesn't like green onions, but you should have chopped green onions for this. Yep, beautiful, beautiful. So that goes in. So parsley goes in, chopped green onions, green scallions go in. Then you should have some pecans. Now you can do one or two things. I like them to be nice, chunky, bite size. You could have crushed these in a bag with a fork, but these add texture, right? So potatoes are softer and these are harder. It offers contrast, hard and soft. So when you're having your salad, it offers like a fun way to eat your food. So these go all right in. Are we there? Then if you are using raisins or any kind of dried fruit, I'm using cranberries because it's a very New England dish for me. That goes in. How are we looking? You should have something like this. You're gonna take a spatula or a spoon and you're gonna lift gently and you're gonna incorporate this. Now, let's not stir to break our potatoes up. Just be gentle. You're gonna go underneath and cut. They call it cutting. So underneath and all the way through. Up, in, and over. In and over.
Do we put the
Now, what's missing
sauces?
here? What's missing here, guys? What's not in our dish?
Just heard it from someone.
The dressing.
The sauce is not in our dish. But here's what's gonna happen now. I'm gonna have you season this dish first. Because when you add a liquid, it's gonna reduce the flavors or dilute the flavors. So if you have cracked pepper or fresh pepper, that goes in, a little bit of pepper, and another teaspoon of salt. Sorry, another quarter teaspoon of salt. Then you're gonna mix it in. This looks really beautiful. Now, once you have everything combined, a little bit of salt and pepper, I'm gonna have you taste it.
What did you just say
Yeah.
to do?
I add salt and pepper. And my pepper is in a fancy pepper thing, but just salt and pepper. Salt and pepper. And you're gonna take a fork, a clean fork, and you're gonna try it. And you're trying all the pieces, right? You're trying a little bit of the nuts, a little bit of the cranberries or the raisins together. So everything's together. You're gonna have contrast. That's soft and sweet and starchy. That's nutty. And that's dried and sweet. So you have 3 different textures. It's like a party in your mouth. plus the parsley or cilantro adds some depth to it, some spice. If that tastes really good to you, as in taste seasoned, be like, something's missing. What's missing? Oh, you're on mute. The dressing. So let's grab our dressing. And this should be enough for the entire recipe, but I like to go halfway first, pour some in. A little bit more. And then one more time, I'm gonna mix it in. Oh, it's just so pretty. And then with a clean fork, I'm gonna rinse my fork. I'm gonna go again. I want to taste everything together. So potato, cranberries, or raisins, and pecan. If you do not have pecan, you could have used like mashed almonds. I could work for this, or slivered almonds. That's a fancy word. But I have all 3 pieces on my fork again. I like it. I think I need more dressing to make it a little bit more bright. And that's it. Now you could serve this warm, as it is like room temperature. When this goes into the fridge and that dressing and all the spices and all the potato like sucks it up like a sponge. So it should be yummy. Now I see a question. So I'm pretty much done with my, I'm gonna serve a little bit on a plate so you can see it outside. How are folks doing? I'm gonna grab a plate and I'll come right back so I can see. If you have assembled and you've tasted and you've adjusted your spices and your seasoning, then go ahead and show on camera. So this is a really nice side dish. It could also be a full meal. I have 2 cameras, if I still use this one. How's that? Oh my gosh, look at the, that's it. You guys are entering Top Chef. Beautiful, beautiful. How's the taste for you guys? Have you adjusted? Yes, I see some thumbs up. I see them dancing.
I would say that mine would taste good to other people who were accumulated to the taste of potato salad, but not to me. It's not really my taste.
I appreciate you because it's different, right? It doesn't have mayo and it's not white potatoes. It's very different, but I think it's pretty yummy if you had a piece of chicken or a piece of tofu or any kind of vegetable here. It's a very unique way to have potato salads. You get some really good nutrients in, but at least we learned something different. But I love comments like that. No, thank you. It's not for me. But you learn skills.
I love Felix's attitude because my favorite thing is trying new foods. And sometimes you don't like the new food you try, but the next one you try might be your new favorite.
Yeah, I like to say, thank you, but it's not for me. But what I also do, a few years or a few months later, I try again because our taste buds evolve, right? You may not like tomatoes one day, you try a different kind of tomato or on a different day and you're like, whoa, I love this. So no, thank you, it's not for me. And then you're open to try another one. Might see more finished products. Anybody else? You guys look really, really good.
It tastes good, pretty good.
Oh, thank you. You made it. I didn't do anything. You did all the work.
Please, if anybody wants to raise their hand, I can, so we can all.
Can I show mine?
Yes, please show. It's a show and tell. It's time to show. Beautiful.
Can I share mine?
Love the plating. You guys are pretty impressive. I love it. The colors, beautiful. You guys did some really nice chops on those potatoes.
Jayla's showing hers.
All right.
Oh, nice, nice.
She left out the raisins. She doesn't
Oh,
like
those
raisins.
are beautiful.
If raisins not your thing, I use cranberries. So you could use dried fruit or you could not use dried fruit. Apples could work as well for this. It would add another texture contrast with some sweetness. If you like apples, maybe not green apples, but like a Gala or Macintosh, like a sweet apple would be good for this too.
Can I show mine?
Yes, go for it.
Go ahead, you have to show it in the camera.
Is that Jack? Beautiful plating.
Thank you.
My job
Thank
here is
you.
done. Excellent, excellent, excellent. You guys did an amazing job. And I think the best part for me is how prepared you guys were as chefs. You had amazing questions and you guys were like ready. You showed up and you're ready to go. Well done. So this is something you can take to Thanksgiving dinner. If you're going somewhere, you want to take a little side item, you want to show off some skills. It's a good way to say, hey, I have a different way of making potato salad. So.
Mom, they can hear us.
Well, Alec, I have 2 minutes. I have 1 minute to go. What do I do with my 1 minute?
Does anybody else want to share?
I'm gonna eat while we, yeah, is that okay?
And I think, Tamika, that's such a good point, right? Because everybody has created a beautiful dish, and it seems like most are with family. And I think one of the most important things that we maybe don't get to do a lot anymore is sit down and enjoy a meal together, right? So I think this is a great chance to enjoy something new and to be able to be around and with your family.
I have an egg that's gonna go on my plate.
And following off of that, Alec, I think I would say some of the best meals I've had have been quite simple in their construction. I've been lucky enough to eat some fancy restaurants a couple times in my life, and they were good, but I wouldn't say they were the best. But stuff that's like home cooked, simple ingredients, done well is definitely the best food I've ever had before.
I'm gonna have some of this for dinner.
Oh, that's a good idea. Me too. I just put a piece of chicken leg on my plate. That's gonna become my dinner for tonight. But if nothing else, even if it's not for you, you just learn how to make your own salad dressing. So if you run out one day, acid, oil, and a sweetener and some spices can make your own dressing. Once you get this down, you can sub things out. So substitute. Some maple could become honey. You can use a different kind of vinegar. It could be orange juice or lemons. So you guys just made your own salad dressing. That's pretty impressive. And this can go with cucumbers or celery or anything else you like to have it with. So again, it's always really fun to see you guys transform fresh produce, vegetables into a meal you can enjoy. I love seeing all the parents and aunties and adults in the space who were helping out. We see you too. You guys were amazing. Thanks for doing all the prep work. And thanks for having me again.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, Tamika.
So much.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
We really like it.
Thank you.
Thank
All
you.
right.
Bye. This is one of the best cooking classes
Bye.
I've ever done.
Thank you. I was really enjoying. You guys are awesome.
Thank
you very
you.
much, y'all.
Bye. Bye.
I went to 6.
Bye, everyone.
Alex, we are.
Bye.
Thank you, everyone. We will see you in April.
Thank
All
you.
right, take care.
everyone.
Have fun. Enjoy the spring, guys. Good to
Why
see you
does it
guys
say
again.
it goes till 6 o'clock? It says 5 to 6. No?
We were ahead of schedule today.
Because
Oh,
you guys were
everybody's
so
lucky.
prepared.
I was not.
That's okay. That's
Hi.
okay.
Sorry, we got in very late and nothing was